Okay, moving on. Last thing on this video. Pluto in Capricorn is now direct after its 5-month retro period. 5-month annual retro period. Tuesday, September 22nd, I did a blog post on this about the square to Mercury, and I laid out in a natal chart, this is how I deal with Pluto, this is what I deal with transits, and then I set up that square to Mercury and talking about things needing to come to the surface. But I want to talk about Pluto retrograde versus direct for a moment, since we're now beginning the 7-month direct period on Friday the 25th. We may not pay, and this is the basis of the blog post, we may not pay attention to Pluto transits as much, but if you're into evolutionary astrology, you realize how important they can be. And Pluto is always asking you to evaluate your relationship with power, strength, and the deepest confidence, which is really about saying, can you get something really important done? Your own natal Pluto has an answer and says, I don't know, because I don't know if I want to risk that pain or that fear or recreating that thing, or I don't know why I'm afraid of this, but I just don't want to do it, or I just feel sheepish, or me, with the chiropractor's sun opposing my Pluto, I don't want to be confronted today. I'm doing the best I can, but your own Pluto will come back with, I don't know if I can. But Pluto in transit is always saying, you can tap into the truth of something. You can get stuff done. You can uncover fear and then work through it. But most of us spend our lives having certain fears that we don't know we can work through because they are so enormous. They loom over the land, they follow us around in the landscape of our lives, where, the landscape of the inner monologue always has a dark cloud back here that we're trying not to see. We hope every time we turn around that it's not there. That's what we need, right? We need to keep Pluto out of consciousness to stay sane. That's what we normally do as people. Transiting Pluto is doing everything it can to show you what you're afraid of. Everything it can. Pluto, be grateful to Pluto as a god in the pantheon, right? So now it's direct. We're actually right now at the beginning of the solar month, it's stationing, on the 25th it goes direct, and then so it's going to be a couple of weeks before it has any appreciable forward motion again, any noticeable forward motion. And so in the meantime, it's ground to a halt, and so our relationship with, or our ability to keep fears at bay, are ground to a halt. Some of us are having intense emotions come up. They are related to fear. Like I was talking about the anger surfacing. Well, I deal with the fear constantly. I mean, I experience it as an undercurrent constantly. I don't deal with it. I mean, it's in my space all the time. So Pluto stationing on my IC, square Mercury on my ascendant, it's pushing this stuff from under the surface up. I cannot avoid it. So it's ugly. I'm angry. Well, I know, and I endeavor to teach, that all anger covers over pain. So Plutonian rage and anger are in fact responses to Plutonian pain. Saying pain that operates on that low frequency, that under the surface frequency. So right now it's ground to a halt, and whatever you feel powerless about is being not poked like a sextile, but like abraded, is rubbed up against with like the roughest grit sandpaper ever. And you're saying, I'm a person with skin, I'm not a rock. How is this going to work? And that pressure. So it's ground to a halt right now. It's grinding against you to confront what makes you feel powerless. But on a day-to-day basis, you don't see that. You just see, this is frustrating, this is angering, this is disempowering. You're just seeing that. So look at what seems inescapable, unavoidable, insurmountable. These are Pluto words, Pluto fear words. And I don't want you to just get tough and just decide to push through. I don't want that. But I want you to realize that the parts of you that carry fear believe it's insurmountable, blah, blah, blah. So the parts of you that are afraid, what they're afraid of is being overpowered, being killed, or repeating past pain, or a sense of failure. If Pluto represents our deepest sense of self-confidence when we develop it, when it goes wrong, we feel like failures. We feel like we don't have the right to exist and that our lives are meaningless. If you'll notice, I talk a lot about Pluto in the birth chart, relating to indicating what we have to do to make life feel meaningful, to derive a sense of true and deep purposefulness about life. So now we're going to begin the direct motion again. And so I want you to realize whatever has you deflated right now, or depressive, or feeling powerless or stuck, or feeling like you're ineffectual and can't get anything done, it's temporary. And give it a few weeks, but to just be in that sense of powerlessness will actually let parts of you rise to the surface and speak, and you absolutely need to hear them. You absolutely need to hear them. Not everybody's working on the plutonium frequencies, and that's fine. But you're following, this kid who's into evolutionary astrology, and Pluto, the unconscious, is central to all this stuff. So that's the end of video 3. Thank you for your time and energy, and we'll be in touch soon. Bye-bye.